Hey guys, SH here, and welcome to my first episode of Counter-Strike Global Offensive Education. Today, I want to talk about the recoil patterns and how you can manage it properly. Now, if you go to YouTube and if you search for the exact same thing, about 99% of the other videos out there are going to tell you to do the exact same stuff. They're going to first tell you to go to any map like this and find any empty walls with any weapons that you want to try out with, and just fire the full mag and see and observe the recoil pattern just like this. And every single time you fire, it's pretty much gonna have the same pattern, although it's not gonna be 100% the same thanks to its game mechanics. The pattern wise, it is gonna be really good, or the accurate as far as the recoil pattern goes. And as long as you memorize this thing, you are gonna be pretty dang accurate when it comes to the longer range engagements. And to counter it, just do it in the opposite direction, just like that. And boom, video is over, game over. For like, favorite, subscribe, I'm out, peace out, or whatever it's called, and the video gets done. And about 90% or about 80%, or me personally, I got really confused after watching those type of videos out there, because first of all, you do not know how much you need to compensate the recoil in order to get it more accurately, and that's pretty much the primary thing that I got confused about. And that really messed my game up when it came to the real world situation where you really need to be accurate in order to win the game, or pretty much in the competitive scene. So I thought this time would be a more appropriate to tell you about my way of trying to mastering the recoil. The first thing that you need to do is to go to this website. I'll put the link in the description below, or I'll put the annotation up right now. Just go to this website and read all this worthy stuff in this website, because it's gonna be really helpful. What this basically talks about is all the behind the scenes behind the recoil mechanics in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and I know that makes no sense at all, but anyway, you should definitely read this, especially if you want to go a little bit more in depth into the competitive scene of the Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's a really educational stuff. But anyway, if you want to skip all that, then that's pretty much should be fine. Just come all the way down there and look for the weapon that you want to try out with. And in this case, I want to try out with the AK-47. So the first thing you need to do is press this little P button there, which shows all the spray pattern for each weapon. And as you can see, this represents the very accurate representation of each weapon as far as the recoil pattern goes. And as you can see, it goes to your left, right, left, and then right. And just look at that for a couple seconds, and then you think, or if you think that you're comfortable with it, can go back. And now what you need to do is go click the C, unless you're using the inverted mouse controllers, not a controller, mouse. As you guys can see about my mouse cursor there, just follow up this recoil pattern as long as you go like that. And you just gotta do a couple more times, about 100 times, or maybe 200 if you just do not feel comfortable with it. And if you think that this is too big, maybe it's too big for your size, what you can do is just zoom out a little bit and just get comfortable with it. It's not gonna be really that accurate when it comes to the real world scenario where you need that extra accuracy in order to engage a guy, but you get the gesture. The whole point of it is to just get familiar with the pattern that you need to actually work on, and that's what you pretty much have to do. And if you think that you are pretty familiar with this pattern now, you can then jump into the without the boss first, and then just try to master the recoil pattern. In fact, that's what we're gonna do right now, so just let's jump into the Dust 2 with the AK-47. Now, as soon as you spawn here, or spawn in Dust 2, there's a place that I really want you to go, because it is really good for practicing. And as you can see, these 4 walls right here, this is going to be the main practice room that you're going to be practicing with your recoil management. But before that, there's a cheat code that you should do, or I highly recommend for you to do. To do this is pretty simple. Just go to the console and type it in the SV underbar show impacts and space 1. And this is pretty much going to highlight, which makes it a lot easier to see how the bullet is going to actually go. So for example, when you're shooting on the wall and when you want to shoot it again, after some seconds it's going to disappear, and then you can shoot it again, so that's really good. Basically what you're gonna do is just first stand on the shade and then just shoot the wall, pretty much without controlling your recoil, and just to make sure that you're familiar with the recoil pattern. And then what you're gonna do, go to your left or the next wall, and then now just try to manage your recoil as much as possible. So that's pretty accurate. And then what you can do that over and over again until you feel very comfortable that you can manage it in this close range. And as soon as you feel comfortable, you can go back a little bit more and just fire the whole mag again and go to the next wall right here, and then just try to manage the recoil just like that. And yes, that is really not that accurate. I do apologize for that. I need to start practicing a bit more. But you get the gesture. That's what you pretty much have to do. And that's a really bad shot, by the way. Don't try to be like me. Now the next technique is going to require a lot more patience than the previous technique, which you just fire the entire rounds in the wall and just try to compensate it as much as you can. This one requires a lot more patience because you're going to be going into the burst fire mode. First of all, you're going to start out with the 2 burst, and then just try to control it without the recoil, and then try to control it with the recoil, and then you just keep repeating that with adding 1 more round. This time I'm gonna try with 3 rounds without controlling your recoil, and the next 3 rounds you just try with controlling the recoil, and then just keep repeating that until you think you get the gesture of how this thing actually works. And then if you think you can do pretty well, you can try the 5 burst or 6 burst. Because up to I think about 8 to 10 bursts, it is pretty much going straight up or down, so that's really easy. But as soon as you go over 10 bursts, it's gonna be really difficult. So I just try to do it like this. For example, if it's a 15 round burst, and then just try to compensate it. And that was a really bad one though. But you get the gesture. That's how you do it. It requires a lot more practice and patience. PP, a nice joke there. But anyway, I think that's it. It just requires a lot more patience and just practice as much as you can on a daily basis, and I think you're good to go. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you guys this information to be helpful, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.